Hello and welcome to our channel Artesmia. I have finished building my 3D printer Voron 2.4 revision 2, and in this video I will install klipper and mainsail to an Orange Pi 3B with 4 GB of RAM and 256 GB emmc. This Orange Pi has the same footprint as the Raspberry Pi 3B, but certainly has much more bang to it. The board is overkill for 3D printing, but at less than $45 including the emmc and shipping, there's really no looking the other way. Let's get started. First, we will download the latest and greatest image for our board. The web page is in the description. We go with a minimal version of Armbian Bookworm Edge. I will perform all the installation from a Linux computer. If you have a Windows computer only, you can watch my older videos number 10 and 11. The process is exactly the same. We are going to download the Armbian Orange Pi 3B Bookworm Edge minimal image, and this one is the compressed file. We're downloading it into an OPI 3B folder. Save. Now we're going to extract this image into our same directory. Extract here. It'll take a few seconds. There we are. Next, we're going to open a terminal window within our subdirectory. Now we're going to flash this image to a micro SD card. We're going to list our images so that we don't have to copy the name. Sorry for that. Now, to flash, we do dd in file equals this file, output file equals device sdb, and bs, the block size equals 1 megabyte. Of course it was denied because we have to do it as sudo. Only root has that privilege of using dd. Okay, now it's done. Now we unplug our card reader from the computer, and we take out the micro SD card. We plug it in the Orange Pi. We connect an Ethernet cable to our Orange Pi, and we power it through the USB port with a 4 amp power supply. Now the green light is flashing on our board, so it's up, and I cleared the screen, and we're going to find out what the IP address is of a board using the nmap command. Nmap -s capital P and the name of a network 192.168.25.0/24, and we can see its IP is 46 because I know the other devices that are on my network, I know their IP. So we're going to try to SSH to root at 192 192.168.25.46. It's there are periods, not commas. We're going to say yes. And the password, remember it's an Armbian distribution, so the password is 1234. And there we are on our new board. Generate a new password. So we'll say Orange Pi. Armbian is such that when you connect to it for the first time, it'll ask you to get a new password, and then it'll ask you to create a user. So I'm going to create a user named Pi, and with the same password, Orange Pi. My real name is Pi. Okay, I am in Brazil, but I speak English, so it'll be no. And my language is English. Where is English? English US 54. Whereas my geography is Americas, Brazil, Southeast Brazil. Is the information correct? Yes. Generating locales, so that takes a few seconds. We're going to reboot. It's not really necessary, but I want to show you something, so we will reboot. Obviously, the connection will be closed, and we have to wait for a few seconds. Green light is flashing again, so let's see if we can log in as Pi. Okay, success. It says welcome to Armbian Bookworm with Bleeding Edge Linux 6.5.2, and a CPU temperature is 53°C. So even though we have a copper heatsink and both on the processor, and we have an aluminum heatsink on the memory. But that's quite hot for not doing anything. So now we're going to make a directory, make the downloads. Now we're going to copy our image to the SD card over SSH connection. So we list there to find our image, and we do SCP. The only file that has an IMG extension is our image, and we copy it to pi at 192.168.25.46 colon /home /pi /downloads /period. And that's for the password, Orange Pi. Oh, sorry for that. It's misspelled. There we go, and it's fairly fast. This is a reasonably fast micro SD card. Okay, there we are. Now we're going to SSH to root on our Orange Pi. So root at 192.168.25.46 Orange Pi. There we go. Now we're going to flash this image to the emmc, the internal memory of our Orange Pi. So we go to the directory where it was downloaded. So that was cd, that's home /pi /downloads, and we can double check, and there it is. So we check again to know what the device is, LSBLK. So it will be on BLK 0, since the BLK1 is our micro SD card, and we can obviously not flash to a SD card that's loaded. So we're going to go there. We do the same thing. DD input file equals our image file. Output file equals device emmc blk 0. Status equals progress. And block size equals 1 megabyte. Okay, this will be fairly fast. The emmc is a fast device for writing. There we go. Now we have it. We have an operating system on the emmc. So we are going to power off take the micro SD card out of the Orange Pi and reboot with the emmc. If we reboot with, now we're going to find what the IP is of our Orange Pi booted with the emmc, which will be a different IP from the other one. So we do nmap -s capital P and the name of our network. That's 192.168.25.0/24. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I wrote 129 instead of 192, and obviously it was not going to find anything. Okay, from knowing what devices I have on my network, I can see that the Orange Pi is with a 79. So we're going to do SSH root at 192.168.25.79. Yes. And the password is, it is an Armbian distribution, so the password for the first login is 1234. And it asks us to change the password, so we'll put Orange Pi. Repeat Orange Pi. Add a user, we're going to add user Pi with Orange Pi. Orange Pi. My real name is Pi. Okay, I'm not going to set the language based on my location because I'm in Brazil, but I have a American keyboard and I want everything in English, so I'll say no. And my language is 54. My time zone is the Americas, Brazil, Southeast. Is it correct? Yes. And it's generating locales. That means everything is in English except the time, which will be the time I have in Brazil. All right, so let's reboot as user Pi. Okay, obviously the connection closed, so we'll wait a few seconds and we'll enter through SSH. Okay, user Pi. When it's ready, it'll ask for the password. It's already ready. Orange Pi. So, okay, we are now on our emmc, logged on the Orange Pi. So we first thing we have to do is update the system. So we do sudo apt-get update. Okay, this takes a little bit of time. It's a fairly recent image from September, say about a month and a half ago, so there won't be too much to update, so it won't find that many things, and it's not going to take that much of a time. Okay, now we have to do effectuate the updates. So we'll do sudo apt-get dist upgrade. And we answer yes. This should actually be faster than finding the packages to update. Now it's done. We saw somewhere in the verbose output that it asked for rebooting at our convenience, so we'll might as well reboot now. Sudo reboot, and it closed the connection to the remote host, so we're back to our main computer. So we're going to log on again with the latest and greatest from Debian, or from Armbian rather. Return Orange Pi. Right, now we're going to install Armbian config to be able to configure our Wi-Fi. Okay, sudo apt install. So we're going to install mg, which is a text editor that I prefer over Nano or VI, text editor, nothing graphic. I'm going to add MC, which is the Midnight Commander, which is a text file manager. Net tools, which has some neat little tools like nmap that we used on our main computer, but it doesn't come in the standard distribution. And Armbian config. Password. We'll have to say yes to all of this. Armbian config is being rewritten from scratch, so it is actually, we answer no to this. So it is actually somewhat broken, but it works good enough for configuring the wireless on our board, and which is pretty much all we need it for. We'll also install a few pieces of software for SSH in the system, so we'll do that as soon as it finishes installing. It's done, so now we do sudo Armbian config. System. We first go for the system to get the SSH. With regard to SSH, we're actually not doing that much, but we do whatever it wants. And we save. Now we go back and we want to do the network. Network. We want to, we're going to disable IP version 6. And we're going to manage Wi-Fi. Okay, so our network is Santo Isidoro. So it'll ask for a password. So just write the password. tab, OK, enter. It's connecting, and now it's connecting. So we quit, enter. Go back, exit. Okay, now we can do if config. It is in Sbin, so we do Sbin / if config, and we can see END0 is our wired Ethernet on 192.168.25.79, and our Wi-Fi is the WLAN 0 on 192.168.25.155. So we have both available. Now we can unplug our Ethernet cable and do everything over Wi-Fi. Now we are ready to install Klipper and mainsail. So we're going to use KIAO. KIAO is the acronym of Klipper Installation and Update Helper. We probably didn't install Git at the beginning, so we are going to install Git sudo apt install Git Now it's done, so we're going to clone the KIAO GitHub. So we go back to our home directory, if we ever strayed from it. So, and we do this, the commands will be in the description. And this is fast, and now we run the KIAO script. What do we want to do? We want to install, so that's 1. What do we want to install? That's Klipper 1. We want to use Python 3, even though Klipper by default runs on Python 2, but this leads to a lot of problems. So since the author of KIAO took the time to update Klipper to Python 3, it would be a shame not to use this. One instance, we're going to use only one printer so far. So at one time, it will ask us if we want to continue, so we have to say yes, and then it takes quite a while. I'll put in the description the time you can skip directly to the minute mark. Now it's done. So we're going to install Moonraker. So that's number 2. Yes. It's done. Now we're going to install mainsail. So that's number 3. Do we want to download the recommended macros? Yes. Perform action. If you want to use a webcam, which is always nice to have, you have to install Crow's Nest. So that's 12. Do you want to add Update Manager? That's nice to have the option to update your software directly from your mainsail screen. Reboot now for the changes to take effect. Well, yes. The other things that you can install mostly for web control of your printer, like Octoprint everywhere and Obico and things like that. When you get to that point, well, you're pretty much versed into your printer, and you can learn how to do that by yourself. So reboot now, yes. It closed the connection, so since it's rebooting, we're going to log on again. Orange Pi. Okay, we can see the CPU temperature is 61C, so it was quite intensive writing to the emmc, and the CPU was working. So, and that we have a copper heatsink. We might get a fan to it. I don't know. Maybe we'll just use the standard fan of the electronics part in the printer. You can appreciate how much time it took to install the main three components, Klipper, Moonraker, and mainsail. And if you had to install all this on a micro SD card instead of the emmc, it would have taken maybe 10 times as long. There we are. Now we're going to see what actually was installed on our computer. So we go to a browser, and we're going to look at our page 192.168.25.155 because we'll go over Wi-Fi. Now we opened a new window, and we're going to go to our page 192.168.25.155. And there we go. We have our mainsail in the window. Klipper reports an error. MC unable to correct, obviously, because we haven't configured our printer yet, so we don't have a printer.cfg file, or we have it, but it's just the bare minimum that the software installation program writes. So we see what we have on the, this is the dashboard, but we have the console, so we can send some G-code to our printer. These are the G-code files that we're going to print. This is the G-code viewer, which is a per file view of the G-code. The history, that's an interesting part of the of mainsail that's not on other ones. In the machine, so here we see that we have a basic printer CFG file, but we have to populate all this, and this will be our next task. So I might do another video on this, but I think we'll close this video here. Moonraker the configuration, and is this, then we it's also built by the software. Now there's an interesting program that we should install before actually closing this video, is the klipper. pain is bread in French and not as pain in English, because it actually reduces the pain of configuring our printer. So for this, we go to, okay, it's a Frenchman who wrote this, and we go to GitHub frix-x klipper. Klipper is a generic, modular, and highly customizable clipper configuration for 3D printers, designed for use on various machines such as Cartesian, Core X, Y, and Core XZ. It has been reported working correctly on Voron v2.4, Trident 0, Sweatwire, Tri0, VZBot, Ender 5, etc. And it takes a lot of headaches away from building the printer.chg file from scratch. So to install it, it says right here. So you first have to have Klipper, Moonraker, and a web UI installed. So that's the web UI is mainsail. You could use Fluid, but we chose to install mainsail. So we go, yeah, you can read all this, and then you have to make sure you follow the configuration guide to populate the your printer.cfg and other files. So we'll give it a try, and we are logged on here, so we're going to go back to our main directory, and we copy this, and that will download klipper and run it at the same time, well, immediately afterwards. So there we go. It has to be run as root, so we have to put the password. Are we sure to have our printer disconnected and that we want to install? Yes. Would you like to select and install MCU wiring templates? Yes. So I personally have BigTreeTech Octopus Max. So this will be, it's actually an easy, but it will do the same as the Max. So we do 9. Do we have a toolhead MCU? I do have a toolhead MCU, so yes. And my MCU is the BigTreeTech SB2240 version 1, so that's number 2. Do I have an ERF MCU? No. And that's it. And okay, I'm sorry I didn't switch windows on the as I was installing Klipper, but it's pretty much straightforward. If you were able to get to this point in the video, you're certainly able of just with the audio and looking at the Fric's web page, GitHub page, you will be able to install Klipper. Now we go back to our mainsail and we reload it, except that it's not this one, it's this one. So we have to reinitialize. So we can see that actually the Klipper installed quite a lot of and installed mcu.cfg it installed some overrides, and we can see that our printer.cfg is 15 kilobytes big, so we have quite a lot of things. But then you have to edit all this to uncomment whatever you need to uncomment. So this we're going to stop the video right now, and this is will be the topic of our next video. What happened to me, and I've seen it often on internet, is that the webcam as installed with Klipper and Kiao through Crow's Nest is not working. It just, you add a webcam and it has no image, and it says FPS 00, and you try to look for crowsnet.conf file and you can't find it. So the solution for this is to recompile Crow's Nest. So you do cd /Crow's Nest, and you do sudo make install, and that will recompile your Crow's Nest, and it'll place in theirs, in the right place, the crowsnest.conf file, and then we'll see how we can edit it if it still doesn't work. I'm not going to do it here because I already did it, and that was the solution. By default, crowsnest.conf file uses device video 0 for your webcam, but that might not be the case for yours. So if you still have no image after recompiling, you just first you do list dev v4l, like video for Linux, v4l by ID. And there you have, well, I have my camera, but you will have yours. USB generic USB cam 2009 0101 0001, video index 0. Now let's see if it works. We open a window in our browser, and then we go to our Orange Pi 3B, and it's 192.168.25.155. Okay, sorry, I have commas instead of periods. Initializing, and mine is working. This is the image I get from my webcam, and I have 15 frames per second. In case it doesn't work, which is fairly likely with generic webcams, you go to the little gear icon there, you open, and then you go interface settings, you go to webcams, and you edit crowsnest.conf. The fix for this is replacing on this line device the dev/video 0 by /dev/v4l/by ID/ and the name of your USB webcam as you found in the terminal window when we worked on it a few minutes ago. And this will give you, then you do save and restart, and this is what you will get. Well, here I have the webcam showing one of my motors, but it'll get online, it'll get a live stream. And I can reload, reinitialize, and then you see it's there. The reason Klipper is reporting an error is because we haven't edited our printer.cfg file as installed by the klipper. This, when we do it, this will take care of the problem. Our printer is obviously not yet fully operational. Now what we're going to do is we're going to install time-lapse for mainsail to be able to do time-lapse videos as we print. It's all very nicely explained in a video on YouTube called Mainsail 2.1, in one word, time-lapse tutorial by Vez3D. That's VEZ 3D. It's a fairly long video, fairly complete, but I will just summarize it in a few minutes. Go to this web page. The actual name will be in the description, and then follow the instructions. I will, however, go over it with you because I haven't installed it yet on this board. Yeah, we're going to copy the instructions. So cd tilde. We're going to clone the GitHub of the time-lapse. So we cd to the directory. And we make install, or eventually sudo make install, I'm not sure. Would you like to proceed? Yes. Sudo, well, it does that automatically. Okay, it will go through the updating routine first, so that will take some time. Do we want to install FFmpeg? Yes, definitely. Well, it has finished installing. So now we have to edit our moonraker.conf file. So we go back to our mainsail window in the browser, and we go to machine and moonraker.conf, and then we can edit with what is needed. Namely, we can copy directly from the GitHub copy and paste in there. You also have to edit your printer.cfg file, even if it's a temporary one that we haven't worked on yet, to add the include timelapse.cfg macro that we just created. So we're going to go here with printer CFG, and we're going to include. Okay, well, we'll put it here for the time being, and save and restart. Okay, we will restart the firmware. At the end of installing timelapse in Moonraker, it says that we have to add the following to your moonraker.conf for the printer in question. Timelapse output path equals and frame path also. So we're going to do just that. So we go to our mainsail window and the machine tab, and we find the moonraker.conf file, and we've already added something else before, but we're going to add what they told us to add. So this is right here. Okay, we're going to format it the way the rest is formatted. And in the end, we're going to add a blank line. Save and restart. So now we can see that we have a tab called Timelapse on our mainsail window, and it says where the files are, and then we can also in machine we have a time lapse in the settings also. In here we can add the play around with the settings of time lapse. It's all this is well explained in the VZ3D video. I'm not going to go over this now. I don't even have my printer running yet, so this is it. One more thing we have to do. We're going to use canbus on our boards to go umbilical instead of having 17 wires from our board to a tool head. So for that we need a little bit of software. So we go within the Python environment. We activate the environment. We upgrade pip if necessary. Okay, the requirement is already satisfied because I did that before, but normally out of the box you probably would have the version 20 dot something dot something. So we're going to install PySerial, which I already have installed, so it'll probably say so. And we install Python can. So it'll probably say the same thing, that I have it installed. Okay, it didn't say so, so that's it. And now you deactivate the Python environment. There we go. And now with everything, Orange Pi 3B is ready for configuring our printer config file. All the software that has to be installed has been installed. That is Klipper, Mainsail, Moonraker, Crow's Nest, and Can. For the canbus, you also have to download the catapults software. The CAN boot has been renamed catapults. So for this, you download from GitHub. Okay, it's already done. I've already done it, so that's why it says it's not an empty directory. Then you have to add a file in mg. Well, that's to add it. Actually, you have to do this root, so sudo mg etc network /interfaces.d/can0 with the following text. This is will be in the description below, so you can just copy and paste, and then Control X, Control S to save, and Control Z to exit. I have already flashed the CAN boot or catapults and Klipper to my main board, and I have a 120 ohm resistor there, so I can see that the CAN bus is there. If I do IP ADDR, it shows and all the Ethernet and Wi-Fi devices, and it shows the CAN0 device. If you do ifconfig like you would do on a Raspberry Pi, you won't see the CAN bus. First you have to do bin ifconfig, because otherwise it won't find the command. But if you do ifconfig, you just show the normal network devices. But if you do IP address, then you can see the CAN bus. Thank you for watching our video, and if you liked it, or if it was of some use to you, even remotely, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more content, and we'll see you soon with a printer configuration video.